today we are going to discuss about the human values, right? Yesterday we have done up to ethics in public and private relationships. Today I'm going to start with human values. In this, I said we'll study lessons of lives of great leaders, reformers, and administrators later. But let us start with the role of family, society, educational institutions in inculcating values. Role of family, society, and educational institutions in inculcating values. So first thing that you should know is what are values and what is value system. Then you should know what is the role of family, society, and educational institutions. I hope you remember the quote of APJ Abdul Kalam for this role of family in inculcating values, right? So that you have to write whenever there is this question. Further, before this, many people are saying that, sir, we are unable to get some conclusions while writing. We are unable to write a decent answer. See, my answer for this will be, writing is a skill. It cannot develop overnight. By writing one question or two questions, if you are expecting that you are writing the best, then that is not going to happen. Believe me, if you write some questions, say for example, some 8 questions, 9 questions, 10th question, from 11th question, you will see the difference. After first question or second question, it is highly difficult to see the change. So don't expect that after writing one question or two questions, you are going to write the best. No, best is going to come only after writing some n number of questions like 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Your 16th question will be definitely good compared to your first question. So never expect results to be very fast because you have started writing now. So don't expect the results to be too fast. Have that tolerance, have that patience, keep on writing. Over a period of time you develop. For example, Murli, he started 6 days back. There was a drastic improvement, compared to his first question or sixth question. There was a drastic improvement. The only thing that he does is he always writes and he always sends it to me, right? This is the exercise that you should do. But don't worry about the result that I am not doing properly. Don't carry that negative mindset. Believe that you are going to reach your destined location. Whether you are not writing good or whether you are writing good now, it's not going to make a difference. By the end of the preparation, it is in your examination that you have to be ready, right? For that, this is the starting stage. So in order to overcome that inertia, you have started now, that is good, but don't expect that you are going to create miracles overnight. It is not going to happen. It takes time. Maybe after 10 questions, you can find the result. After 15 questions, you can find the result. Have that tolerance. Don't just get distrust on yourself, or don't just complain that I am not doing well. I am not doing well. You will do well. Believe that, right? You have started. Many people haven't started writing ethics. Many people doesn't know what to write in ethics. At least you have started. You have taken the first step. The only thing is, if you are writing for 10 days or 12 days, it is going to set. So don't worry about it. Just follow the framework that we discussed. And many people, you are forgetting the framework. Go with the framework that we discussed. Introduction, it has to be there. Conclusion, it has to be there. Body two-dimensional approach, it has to be there, right? If you write in that way, if you are following that regularly, then you are going to see the result. So that is what I wanted to say. Now going with human values, let us first understand values. Again, I use my book for this. Even Rao's IAS has also compiled. More or less, Rao's and GS Code, they have compiled in a similar fashion, right? First thing first, whenever they ask a question on what are values, what is value system, what are human values, how values can be cultivated in your schools, colleges, or in your family, the first thing that you should know is what is values, right? Remember, they are evaluative standards. They are the standards with which you evaluate an action, right? What is ethics? Ethics is which says which is good and which is bad. It is the values which decides whether an action is good or bad, right? They are evaluative standards. In order to evaluate an action, then you are going to use these values. They are the principles set by human beings, right? They are the principles set by human beings. They are the good qualities which human beings expect or which society expects. Hence, they are evaluative standards, a standard of goodness. What is good, what is bad. No need to remember everything. Just remember that they are evaluative standards. Now, the sense of value is an essential attribute of human consciousness. The word value expresses qualitative significance. Qualitative significance. What does this mean? How much an act is good, how much an act is bad. So qualitative aspect, the intangible aspect is going to be measured by your value system. We assign to ideas, that is qualitative significance. We assign to ideas, activities, etc. That they are called values. Now for the definition, to just remember, values are evaluative standards we use for deciding an action, whether that is right or wrong. The basis of evaluating process is our value system. Basis of evaluation is our value system, right? Sati was considered as a virtue, or it is considered as a good value in olden days, because that is our value system. We used to evaluate on that basis, but today it is no more a virtue. The reason is the standards or the basis of evaluation has changed today, right? So evaluation process in our values. So the evaluation, whether an act, whether you are doing it correctly or not, that you are going to depend upon your system of values that has been developed in the society by the humans. Now, whatever the values that we are going to acquire as an individual, it reflects our attitude, it reflects our preferences, it reflects our goals, it reflects our aspirations. At the individual level, it is your value system which is going to define on which way you are going again, on which way you are going ahead. What are your goals? What are your aspirations? What is your attitude towards others? Right? What are your preferences? I said yesterday itself, I said when discussing the topic ethics in private relationships, right? Ethics in private relationships more or less comes from your family, society, because they are the molding blocks of your value system. Hence, the value system that you are going to acquire and develop is going to reflect your attitude. It is going to reflect what preferences you are going to have. It is going to reflect your goals and aspirations. For example, someone thinks that goodness is depending on quality of life. For someone, that is happiness. Goodness is quality of life, that is ultimately happiness. But now, what is this happiness is going to differ from individual to individual, right? Some things that pleasure is goodness. Some people who believe in the value system of being pleasure, right? They believe that happiness is having like hedonistic concept or materialism. If I gain more materials, I will be happy. Some people will be thinking that, okay, this is their value system. Some people will be thinking that I will be happy when I am contented, right? So self-experience, people think that no, it is not in materials, it is in self-experience. If I am contented with what I am doing, then I will be happy. Then some people will be thinking that, okay, following the Indian philosophy, what is this Indian philosophy I discussed? Dharma. Doing my duty, I'll be happy. People, there will be different kinds of people. What I'm saying is, value system, how it differs from individual to individual, it differs upon the mindset of the individual. It depends upon the value system with which he has acquired, that is going to differ. For example, if the subject is happiness, if you want to be happy, happiness differs from person to person. For few people, material gains. For few people, cracking UPSC. For few people, being contented in their life. For few people, doing their dharma, that is Indian philosophy, they makes happy. So this is subjective experience. Now, what is that difference which makes person to person is the value system that he has acquired, right? I said, so this is the evaluating standard. Whether this is correct, this is correct, this is correct, that depends upon the value system of the individual. Now, there is one more context here. Many people say that value systems differ from culture to culture. This gave rise to the point of multicultural context, values in a multicultural context. What is this multiculturalism, multicultural context? Multiculturalism is a historical phenomena which opens up the possibility of multiple cultures and social practices. This itself brings in multiple value systems that claim to coexist without being a threat to one another. See, multiculturalism means all the cultures existing at one place. Now, when they are multicultural existence or different sets of culture existing at one place, people believe that every culture will have its own value system. As a result, when multicultural people are living together, different values are going to be present within one society. This is what many people believe. This is called multiculturalism. What is globalization? Globalization, if you remove that economic aspect of globalization, globalization have cultural aspect also. It has made the culture to be multicultural. Today, it is no more a monocultural society because of your globalization. Hence, in a globalized world, what you see is multiculturalism. Now, when there is multiculturalism, how your value system is going to be in the society? People believe that every culture will have its own value system. Now, when there are different cultures existing at one society, at one place, then different value systems coexist. At times, people believe that they will be contradictory. One value system will be contradictory to another value system. Sometimes they will be complementary to each other. Right? This is what people say. Cultural pluralism is a historical fact. There have been many cultures in the history of mankind, each with its own identity, deriving its sustenance from its cultural heritage. Right? For every culture, there will be some identity, and based on that identity, value system is going to develop. If there are number of cultures at one place, then there will be number of value systems at a single place. The difference among the cultures, that is Western and non-Westerns, lies not so much in the different goals pursued as in different ways we live and pursue these goals. So now they are writing. There will be questions like this: how Western cultures differ from Indian cultures, or how Western values. There was this thing that we discussed. Because of globalization or because of this internet, modern cultures were developed. Our modern way of living has been eroding the traditional value system. So, in order to answer those questions, this is the answer. What they say is every culture has its own identity. However, the basic essence of this culture, whatever the culture that you have, it is not the difference that is going to be playing a crucial role. The cultural differences are the differences in style, that is in form rather than in content. This is very important. My culture may be different to your culture in my way of living. That's it. But the content, the on the superficial level, that is on the above level, above the ground level, it appears that my dressing style might be different from your dressing style. It appears to me that my value system is different to your value system. But if you look at the roots of every culture, once we remove the differences on the surface, we can discover the unity among all cultures. Very important. The unity among all cultures, whether you are a Western culture, so whether we are a Western or whether you are a non-Western, if you remove the basic differences on the top layer, the bottom layer, that is the root layer, you will discover that there is unity among all cultures. This is demonstrated in the basic spiritual and moral aspirations which are common to all mankind. The point of discussion is, in a globalized world, when there are multicultural cultural societies exist, whether value system is going to differ from one culture to within one culture, within a society. Now that is the point. At that point of time, it is not going to have any contradictions, rather it is going to have complementary values. Whenever you are writing an answer, say for example, Western culture is spoiling the Indian culture, or Indian culture is spoiling some Western culture. No, they won't spoil, because it appears on the outer surface that they differ each other. But if you go into the surface, if you remove that differences and if you go inside, then they demonstrate only one thing. They demonstrate only one thing. That is, they demonstrated in the basic spiritual and moral aspirations. The spiritual aspirations and moral aspirations of all the humans are same. Very, very important. Irrespective of your culture, whether it is a Western culture or Eastern culture, the spiritual and moral aspirations of people are same. The most fundamental feature which unites the different culture is pursuit of human values. This is the importance of human values. Humans aspire to have some values. So that is the basic feature in every culture. Almost all cultures have the moral principles or human values which people follow in their life. These principles may vary in detail from culture to culture, but more or less all follow some principles. To put in another words, human values binds all human societies and individuals. I said what is value, and I said whether values differ from one place to other place, one culture to other culture, right? That is what I am discussing. I said on the top, it appears that one culture is different from another culture, one value system is different from another value, but it is not. If you go inside, it is every culture will have its own way of living, which says that we have to aspire, we have to aspire for human values. Human values have to be cultivated in a very good manner. So whether it is a Indian culture, Western culture, anything, it is the human values that is going to bind all human societies and individuals. What are those human values? Everyone aspire for the same type of justice. Individuals, irrespective of the society that they are living, they aspire for justice, they aspire for rights, they aspire for common good, etc. Thus, there is necessary foundation of our value life. Thus, there is foundation for moral life lies in the value system. To be universal is not to deny the particular. What is this value system? It cannot be universal, right? Even though you have a particular culture, that doesn't mean that you do not have universal principles. Within the same value system, there will be universal principles. Within the universal principles, there will be particular principles. Whenever morality is situation dependent, it loses moral credibility and becomes a set of conditional rules. The future of humanity depends on how we resolve our human value conflict at a higher level. This is possible if we recognize our values which are universally acceptable to all mankind, such as human welfare, justice, and freedom. Why this was written? Why all this was written? Because there is one concept. In the value system, they will always ask you to evaluate whether one value system is contradicting the other value system, or say, for example, terrorism, events like terrorism, global issues, whatever is happening. One person will be quarreling with the other person. One society will be quarreling with another society. One country wages war on another country, right? Religious hatred will be there. So, society, whatever the society at the national level or the international level, whatever the problems that you have, that is because people think that their value system is different, right? If I am a Hindu, I may not be eating beef. For my value system, eating beef might be wrong. But for a person who eats beef, that might be a good value system. So if I am going and quarreling with a person thinking that his value system is different from my value system, then that is the most unfortunate thing. Because if the morality is situation dependent, it loses the moral credibility. Every culture, the underlying principle of every culture, whether you are eating beef or whether you are not eating beef, by the end of the day, you are living for your sustenance. You are living for your basic rights. You are living for your justice. You are living for your common good. So your value system, even though I don't eat beef, that doesn't mean that my value system is different, because internally, inherently, my value system says that I am here for good existence. Even the fellow who eats beef also, he is there for his good existence. So that is the thing. So the future of humanity is going to depend on how we resolve our value conflict. Values are in conflict, right? At a higher level, how you are going to resolve your value conflicts, then only future of humanity is dependent. Otherwise, there will be communalism, there will be terrorism, there will be radicalism, right? This is possible if we recognize higher values which are universally acceptable to all mankind, such as human welfare, justice, and freedom. If you are thinking this as the highest values, you don't bother about what other person is wearing, what other person is eating, right? This is the importance of value system. I repeat, what I said so far is, what are values? Values are the evaluating standards we use for deciding what is right or wrong. Evaluative standards. Now it appears that from one culture to other culture, values differ, but evaluative standards are more or less the same, because at the higher level, The ultimate values are human welfare, justice, freedom, rights of individuals, sustenance of individuals. If you go by these values, highest values, then irrespective of your culture, all the value system is going to be the same. That is the thing. So you have to go beyond the superficial or the surface level, go inside and check out the roots where these root values were evolving. Then at that point of time, you find that there is no difference among the human beings. What they are saying is all humans are equal, whether you are an European or whether you are an Indian, all human beings are equal. That is what higher value system says. I hope you got this. So they are the evaluating standards we use for deciding what is right or wrong. Basic definition. The basis of evaluation is our system and values. The value system we acquire and develop are going to reflect in your attitude, preferences, goals, and aspirations. More or less, Rouse has also given the same thing. The same thing Rouse has also given. Values. What he has given values. Values are the standards which help to evaluate something which is good or bad, which is desirable or undesirable. That thing is whether a person, place, or event, whether it is an event or whether it is a place, whether that is desirable or not desirable, that is going to be decided upon your values. So just remember this definition of values, because whenever they ask a question, you have to write the definition. Now, different people may have different set of values. Tribal cultures, conservation of environment, compassion for pets is valued more in European countries, service classes, stability. So depending upon the society in which you are living, your value standards are going to change. But that doesn't mean there is huge difference between one society other society. There are some convergence values by at the roots, right? And they have said what are distinct features of values, not important, but just remember what is values and how values appears to be different. But at the higher level, if you are thinking about highest values such as common good or the welfare of the citizens, all activities or all values are conveying the same thing, right? I hope you got this point. Let me look at some questions. Sir, voice is breaking down in between. Is my voice clear now? Example, Ajay has said, sir, shelter under the roof is same for all cultures. Yes, it is like under value system, we are taking the shelter. Yes, that suits Ajay. Good. Sir, both values and religion are overlapping, right, sir? Yes, more or less. Religion is a part of your culture, right? What is religion? Religion directs how to live, and culture is way of life, right? So, religion is culture. Whenever I'm discussing culture, you all the different cultures will be having the same thing that is called values. So, religion and culture more or less have there were synonyms. So, values appears to be more or less the same, right? So, I hope so. What to write whenever they ask values and value systems, you have to write this thing. What is values? Just remember they are evaluating standards of your moral behavior, whether it is good or bad, whether it is an action performed is ethical or unethical. That is going to depend value system, and then how value system goes to be different. Why these value systems are multiculturalism we have discussed, just to have another picture. If they ask you in some case studies, or if they ask you whether we are losing our ancient traditions and if you are going for modern traditions, whether this is good or bad, then you have to write there is nothing good or bad, because even modern societies also have the same essence just like your ancient traditions, but you have to look at the higher level, right? That is the thing. Hope you got something about value system and how value system is existing in various cultures. Now, let me look at this point that is called the role of family in inculcating values, the role of society in inculcating values, the role of educational institutions in inculcating values. Right? Let me go with this first. Just for your understanding, because anyone can write this, just have a look at what they have given. So these are the sources of values. Values develop continuously, cumulatively, right? They develop over a period of time. This is not like we are born with values. No, it develops continuously. The first stage of formation is human values, is at the role of family. Now, just to know how family is going to play a crucial role in inculcating the value system of a person. Now, the child rearing practices adapted by parents shapes the personality of the child both consciously and subconsciously. Very important. Child rearing practices of parents. Use the term. That is why I have underlined it. Child rearing practices are very important, which is going to determine how the children is going to perform in their life subconsciously or consciously. Right? And then family is the first informal agency of socialization. First informal agency of socialization. It is said that family is the first school and mother is the first teacher. You can use the same thing while writing what is the main function of family in inculcating values. Family is the first informal agency of socialization. Value formation is very high through family because it has high emotional attachment. Right? Next one, child rearing practices such as democratic or authoritarian. If you are making your child to grow democratically, he will perform some, he will develop egalitarian outlook. Or if you are rearing your child with authoritative voice, he becomes authoritative over a period of time. And then parents are going to form the role models for the children. For example, Gandhiji said he learned the technique of satyagraha and fasting by observing his mother and wife. If you have read this book, Gandhiji's my autobiography, My Experiments with Truth. He explains beautifully about this concept, the techniques of satyagraha and fasting, how his mother has influenced him over a period of time, how his wife has influenced him over a period of time, right? We should write this example. And then students or children also learn by observing, observational learning from parents, the behavior of their parents and members, right? Values of service class and business class. They learn people in the business class, children, they tend to go for business. They people in service class, they go for service. For example, Bipin Rawat, his father was a army agent, right? He was a member of the army. His grandfather was a member of army. So he has become the chief of defense staff over a period of time. So it is observing the children, they are going to become this. If parents informally talk bad things about a particular caste or religion, students will talk that. If they knowingly violate traffic rules, child will imbibe the same. If the boy raised in an environment where girl child is treated as a second citizen, he will treat his wife in a similar fashion and finds it nothing wrong. Patriarchy, right? If parents are meticulous about cleanliness in both private and public property, children will follow the same thing. Why all these things? Just if you study 5 or 6 examples, at least you will remember 1 or 2 in the exam. That is why I have shown all this. Just remember these are the observations, how people will learn. But remember Gandhiji, right? Gandhiji, Abdul Kalam in this. So what is role of family? Things that you have to remember is you can write anything, but don't miss these terms. Family is the first informal agency of socialization. It is always said that family is the first school and mother is the first teacher, right? Don't forget that. And then it is child rearing practices are very, very important. If you are rearing your child with authoritative voice, child is going to be authoritative. If you are making him democratic, child is going to be democratic, right? Let me look, there is some question. Sir, could you please share the highlighted PDFs? Okay, Manoj, I'll share it. No issue. Right? Listen these examples also, or remember those examples. Now, human values, role of educational institutions. Now look at this education. Again, there were many quotations that were said in education from essay topics also. Remember them while you are writing. Education is a systematic attempt towards human learning. Systematic attempt. Family is informal organization, whereas education or school is a formal organization. It is a systematic attempt towards human learning, right? The essence of good education is to develop human personality in all dimensions. Very important. Essence of education is to develop human personality in all dimensions. Physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, intellectually, and morally. For example, India had this system of Gurukul system right from the ancient days, where it is used to be in the form of dialogue. Student used to ask questions, Guru used to answer the questions. Data, information, knowledge, wisdom. Right? There is difference between data, there is difference between information, knowledge, and wisdom. Right? Application of knowledge in practice is called wisdom. You might be very good in the law, in knowing the laws, but if you are not applying that, you are not a wise man. A wise man is one who applies his knowledge, right? Information, systematic assimilation of information is called knowledge, that you might be knowing. Data is mere collection of facts, right? Mere collection of facts is not an education, rather it is education should make a person wise. Okay, that is the thing. So systematic learning takes place in the earlier years of school. Maximum opportunity. School provides maximum opportunity and exposure to children. And for the first time, a child is introduced into the community outside his family only in the school. Hence, schools are first formal social organizations where children is going to meet. So then comes the first important one is teacher. The role of teacher is going to be very high. For example, Gopal Krishna Gokhale was the political guru of Gandhiji. In many ways, he shaped the ideology and the outlook of Gandhi towards life and India. Hence, you can write this Gopal Krishna Gokhale, the great teacher of Gandhiji. Next, this is about teacher. If you go to peer group, friendship is learnt in school. How to behave with opposite sex, you learn from school days, right? Now, what are the ethics that you have to learn and values, right? They are imported to children right from your school days. In Japan, there is a system called first to 4 years basic etiquities and values are taught to children, right? In Japan, when we were studying, my teachers used to say, you have to catch hold the spoon like this, because in Japan, teachers do that. So they used to say, in Japan, children like learn these ways. So you should learn how to catch hold of the forks, how to sit in the dining table, how to dress. So these are the things that are developed in the Japanese, right? Even in our school also, they will make you to learn how to go ahead and uh, uh, how to tie, how to make that knot in the tie, how to dress properly. These are the things which are developed in the school. Your PE teacher might be developing that. So that was taken from Japanese system of education. In the first 4 years, they make children to learn basic etiquities and values, right? Next, in Netherlands, plastic is not used in class. In starting few years, students are taught in natural environment so that they can develop positive values towards nature. Now, why these two are important? You have to give them as examples, right? So in school, the first person will be teacher, the second person will be friends, right? And what is the third system? And in school, behavior is going to be molded into attitude. How? If the teacher is giving punishment, corporal punishment, when the child who has suffered corporal punishment goes to college, he would think that it is right to do ragging to juniors. When he becomes father, he would think physically punishment is a right way, right? And if he becomes a cop, he would think that custodial torture is justiciable. Because if you want to create law and order, he learns from his teacher. If the teacher is beating him, if he is doing some nonsense in the class, then he learns that, okay, if by beating you can keep law and order in control, then the student learns the same thing. So corporal punishment, whether it is good or bad, think on these lines, right? How beautifully they have given, right? If you become a police officer, then you don't think that custodial torture is something which is abnormal. Next, which is going to be most important thing is the syllabus and textbook